everyone. I'm Becca,
Hello, I'm Jessica.
and Kaylin's going to take it from here.
Hi, I'm Kaylin. I'm on the product team for SimpleConsign and wanted to talk a bit about our new AI automated item entry feature. The goal here is to make inventory item entry a lot faster by using the power of AI and photos in order to enter your inventory in a quick and streamlined process. So, would we like to get started?
Yeah, absolutely. So like Kaylin mentioned, this is our tech preview of the AI item entry itself. So what we're doing is whenever you're about to add inventory, if you guys recognize this screen, there is now an added QR code you can use your phone to scan and then look at some items. So we're going to test it out on a couple things here. We're going to test it out on, let's see, maybe some shoes to begin. So I'll have Kaylin take a picture of some shoes we have ready to go. These are a pair of sneakers you might have come in. And the really cool thing with these is if it has a QR code, which a lot of sneaker heads really, find important, then you can also take a picture of that with the sizing. And a lot of times it's going to pop up and populate in your inventory. So once we've added those items, we can say research item. And it's going to do all the thinking and entering for us. So you're not having to type in anything, hopefully. It's just going to pop open with everything you need to see. So we can see it's a large Nike shoe. The MSRP was $190. All the tags, so especially when it comes to typing in a lot of things in the future for Shopify, you have those done for you with extra information explaining what that item is. The family grouping is done. So all of the categories that you have set up for your store are also in there automated, ready to go. And that UPC is also there, which is really important. So we can approve and submit it, and it's going to get sent to our inventory. And you can also update the size. So it says large, you can put in the actual size, which is a size 10. So this is all completely customizable as well. So if it gets a little thing wrong, you can update it. Approve and submit, and it's going to show up in our inventory now. So all of that work is automated, ready to go. Very cool. You can change the price if you need to. So if you don't think that it's $80, it's actually worth $100, you can change that based on anything you need. Perfect. And then we can also test it out with a bag.
All right. So next up, we're going to take a picture of a handbag that might be brought in to your store. So this is a Coach purse. And as you guys know, inputting inventory is one of the major pain points of this business, doing your research on how old this item may be and finding out all of the things you need to put in, characteristics about the bag. So just by the simple picture, we can see that all of the fields are filled in. The MSRP came up as $300. If you like to print that on your tag, that's going to go ahead and be there for you. You can change it, of course, as well. We had our tags populated, which will push out to Shopify if you need to. And the suggested sale price for me was $60. So if I like that price, I can go ahead and read the extra info, see if I like that as well, and hit approve and submit. And it is now in my store. And I can continue to further edit from there should I need to.
And then you can also tag like not even necessarily clothing items or bags. We can also do kind of obscure items like a camping cup. So if you're kind of selling a little more antique wear and you're having to add that inventory where it's a very unique item, like this camping cup, you can also use it for that. So we're constantly making sure that it's, looking through anything we can. Some people have tested out furniture. I tested out on an office chair and that worked really well. It was actually surprising how much that office chair cost. But it was very interesting. Again, like it just shows up all of your camping gear, any obscure item. And if it doesn't get it right on the first try, you can try it again or just kind of fill it out yourself because it's adding so many different unique items. So you have that here. If you have logos in there, it catches it a lot better as well. So adding kind of unique items is really helpful as well. So you have that here. Maybe it didn't pop up with the MSRP. If that matters to you, you can of course add it, but you can have all of that information added. So even we have a category for camp mugs for your store. It's completely up to you and how you do your categorization and inventory. And we may try out one more item We can do, what item should we do? Kaylin, if you want to give us a surprise, that would be fine. She's having
Ooh,
to get the pictures for us. And we see some questions popping up. We will get to those toward the end of the session.
let's do a bag that requires 2 photos.
Perfect.
So we're going to take a photo of the tag first, and then we will take a second photo a little bit further out.
The nice thing is you can always restart. So if you feel like you could have taken a picture of something on the item that had a little bit more specific information, it's still going to be quicker than going through the fields and typing those all in yourself. You can just start over, take a new picture, and see if that populates a little more information for you. So for this bag, it came up with the correct brand, price, color, suggested price to sell it for. We could change the category there if we don't like that to be called a handbag. It is a larger tote bag. Totally up to you if you would like to further edit from here, but it's a nice way to get all of that gathered really quickly and have the ability to just skim it to see if you like it, if it's accurate, edit it from here, click import, and then it's in there for you.
Absolutely. And we're constantly trying to update and work this out. Of course, this is a tech preview. So we want people to test it out, see how they like it, see if it's working well. And again, we're trying to constantly improve it. So when it comes up with those tags, those e-tags, the descriptions, you may in the future be able to upload that to Shopify and do even less work in the future. So constantly trying to make it better.
Yes, exactly. So like our sales team, our lovely sales team has just said, this is a tech preview currently available on our Pro plan at 1,000 uses per location per month. So if you have a multi-location store, it's per location per month. And the goal of a tech preview is for us to get the bulk of the technology out there so that it's something that our customers can explore and learn about. And so we can also learn how you're using it so we can fine tune it to better fit your needs.
Awesome. I think we can hop into a Q&A.
Let's see. All right. So if you are on the Pro plan, you should have the ability to access this feature. If you are not on the Pro plan and you would like to be able to play with this tech preview, you can reach out to our sales team. They would love to help you figure out the best way for you to try out this feature. Let's see, that's a nice button. Let's answer it live. Is there a background remover or photo editor built in? There is not, but you should be able to choose photos from your camera roll. But that is a good bit of feedback there. It sounds like these are photos that you'd want to reuse for posting online. So you'd want them to be high quality, have clean backgrounds and everything.
I also see the question of what app we're using to take these photos. We're just using our camera app on our phone. So we scan the QR code using our camera app, and that will take us to what you see here with the AI item entry on the phone screen. So you don't need anything extra, just a phone.
How is the suggested selling price generated? Pulling data from Mercari, Poshmark, or other sources. It's pulling it from a variety of different sources based off of the photo that you take. So once it identifies the item, it looks for a bunch of different pricing information and chooses the best fit. I see someone asking to try out a piece of furniture. That sounds fun. I have a stool right here.
I also have our office chair that I tested out that worked really well.
All right, let's try this. I'm not sure if it'll get it with all of the verticals in the background and there's not a good color difference, but let's see what happens. For being in an office, I don't really have a whole lot of furniture available to try out, but gathered that it's a metal bar stool, suggested a price, put it in the chairs category. For as much as I know about that stool, I'd say that looks pretty good. And now we can add it to our inventory. Can you use this on multiple phones? You can. So the QR code is tied to the batch. So you are able to, if you have a couple of people who are entering inventory, you could have two people scan the QR code with their phone and work on separate inventory items at the same time. So if you have a team of people who enter inventory, you can all work together to enter it. When scanning a handbag, will it tell you if the bag is authentic? It does not have authentication tools built into it at this time. Yeah, there we go.
We had somebody in the chat ask how tolerant it is of other items in the frame.
Generally, as long as the item is the forefront item in the frame, it works. But if it ends up being too cluttered, you can always retry and try a new photo. Let's see. It's pulling it from comps online. That's a good question there, Joanna. If you have Pricebook, that's some good feedback, though, that you might want it to feed the pricing in through Pricebook using the category and brand. Camera hardware, that should be your built-in camera app on your phone. You take a photo of the QR code. So let's close out of this batch so that people can see that beginning process. So I'm going to hit done. I'm in my Pro test store location. And when I click add inventory, so this is store inventory, you scan this QR code with your phone. So if I go into my camera app, I scan the QR code, I click the link, it pops up, and I'm in this app on my phone, or this web page on my phone, that allows me to take photos of my inventory and add it in. Conversion to Canadian pricing. That's some feedback that we've gotten of being able to adjust the pricing to better suit the geographical location of our stores. So not at this time. It should be most likely in US pricing is what it's expecting, and you can always adjust it if you'd like.
We had a request for a jewelry example, so we just gave Kaylin a necklace to test out.
All righty, let's try it. So let's try a ring. See if I can get a good photo of this with the lighting. I'm going to try two photos here so it can see the top side as well. See how that does. It works for consignment batches as well. So anywhere that you're entering inventory in a batch on the store side of SimpleConsign, you can enter an item. All right, so it got an elegant silver ring. Look at that. And it recommended a price of $50 with an MSRP of $200. And look at that beautiful description it's got.
Of course, when it comes to real diamonds, it may not be able to detect that. Obviously, you may need a jeweler, but I have tested it out on a couple items that are well-known brands. And as long as you have a brand or some indicator of what that item is, it will work for jewelry. But since jewelry is a little more specific, it's going to come out with kind of those generic answers.
Yes. So the pricing may be something that you want to edit it, but getting the description and such like that will be nice and helpful and time saving. Let's see. All right, I've got a necklace laid out as well. Let's see if I can get it to focus with the lighting I've got in here. Let's see how it does with one photo. Oh, I think someone snagged the QR code on us. Entering in their own tea mug. Look at that. Silver initial C necklace. So again, you can always come in here and adjust the price if you'd like. So if you think this item should be priced higher or lower, you can always edit it here, or you can edit it once you've submitted the item to the batch. So maybe it cost me $5 to buy this item. I can enter in a cost, do whatever adjustments I want, and we're good to go.
We had the question, does it need to go to Shopify or are there other export options?
So this will go into your inventory in SimpleConsign, and if you have a Shopify integration set up, it'll sync to Shopify. If you mark the e-commerce item, we've gotten lots of feedback that people would like the images taken at the time of entry using this feature to also travel to Shopify. So that's just an integration that we already have set up with Shopify itself. I see a question about auto tagging. Do you need the tags added prior? So if that's for the e-commerce tags, no, it'll just pick out tags for you and then it'll add them to the item and that'll travel through to when you submit. How well does it pick up clothing items? I don't have any other than what I'm already wearing handy to take a photo of, but when we were testing this feature, I did take a photo of a developer and the shirt he was wearing. Oh, perfect. Another airdrop of inventory. But the shirt he was wearing ended up getting priced. So that was pretty cool. Oh, look at this. All right. So let's grab a photo of the tag. And then let's grab a photo of the item larger. Here we go. Research. Lots of really good questions in here. Oh, we got a cosmetic bag in here. All right. H&M women's blazer. Beige, $25. Stylish blazer from H&M for women. Perfect for formal or casual occasions. Look at that. Approve and submit. And then let's expand this e-commerce section here so everyone can see that that e-commerce information is coming over. Thank you.
We had the question, is 2 photos the max amount you can take?
At this time for the tech preview, yes, we're doing 2 photos for the identification of the item. But as I said a moment ago, we are getting lots of feedback about wanting to be able to take additional photos to be able to post with the item itself so those travel up online.
We had somebody ask about a piece of art.
Piece of art. Ooh, that would be interesting. Well, I do have one of those handy. I am from the Atlanta area, so excuse my Waffle House. Let's see how it does with that, though. It did not like that. So this is a case where we'd reach out to our support team and let them know. And while this feature is still in tech preview, there are a couple of rough edges that we are still working on smoothing out. Do you have a separate QR code for each item before you scan, or can you do a bundle at a time? So you do an entire inventory batch at one time. So if you normally enter 5, 10 items at a time, you can continue doing that. You would just continue taking photos. If you have a couple items in the batch that you would like to use this feature for, and a couple that you'd like to do by hand, you can of course do that. Just make sure you scan the QR code first so that you can get onto that image screen. And then you can continue adding items as you normally would here.
We had a question on if you have to have the professional plan to access this. Right now, yes, you do.
Yes.
And if you would like to hear just more about the professional plan and what's included, you can always reach out to Jessica and I. Our emails are going to be included as well as a calendar link after the webinar.
Okay, I see another question about e-commerce tags and e-commerce information. So I'll just take this moment to again highlight this e-commerce information here. of an item that our audience has added themselves. And we've got those e-commerce tags, e-com description, and e-com title. All of that flowed over. So at this time, you'd need to retake your photos. As part of the tech preview, we did not sync the photos through, but that is some feedback that we've gotten, that photos coming through and being able to reuse them would be a very powerful feature.
We had a question. Do you have to have a separate QR code for each item before you scan, or can you do a bundle at a time?
Yep, whole batch at a time. So I've done, what is this? Oh, down here, 6 items. 6 items in this batch, all off of one QR code. Now, if I was to close this batch and start over, then that would be a separate QR code. And we did have a question earlier. You can use consigned item inventory as well. So you can do a consigned item batch as well. Would it work for books? I imagine it would work for a book.
We have tried it in the office on books and it worked very well.
I don't have easy access to one here.
I'd say the pricing is a little bit, if you can get a picture of the original price, then that's really helpful. Just because books kind of fluctuate in how much they cost. So that was the main thing that we ran into of the objective of what to price it at.
Let's see. Looking through all of the questions here. I think we've gotten the majority of them. Can you change dollars to pesos? So SimpleConsign will be in dollars. If you want to adjust the amount that the result comes back in, you can always adjust it to work better for your region. Do consigners have their own QR code, or is it by batch? So it's by batch. So the QR code that I have for this consigner this time will be different from next time. An error message saying there was not enough memory. Is that on your side or mine? I am not sure about that. If you could take a screenshot of your error and send it over to our support team, that would be very helpful.
We had the question with items like jewelry, is there a way to say this is 14 karat or sterling so that the price is more accurate? I believe I've tested it out where you can see a 14K on the item itself, and that helped it a lot, but there's no way to type it in beforehand to indicate that.
We have gotten some feedback from several stores that being able to add a keyword when you are searching for the item as well, when you're researching it, would be quite helpful. So this is why we do a tech preview, so we can find out things like that we otherwise wouldn't have known to build into the feature. So this is very valuable feedback. Thank you all. Can definitely see the value of telling it that it's a 14K or a diamond ring before you take the photo and send it off for research. Does the feature integrate or cross-post with eBay? So SimpleConsign has an integration with Shopify. So we would send that information to Shopify, and if you take it from Shopify to an outside platform, that's completely up to you, but we integrate directly with Shopify. Would it be able to give you a separate price for brick and mortar versus online listing? That's a really good question. Right now, it just gives you one price that you can fine tune depending on where you intend to sell the item. We have gotten some feedback that being able to have an offered low, middle, and high would be nice, or tying it into price book. And these are all things that we're exploring and learning more about. The categories are for your store's categories. So you can change it if you'd like. And then you can always, of course, adjust it once it's in the inventory batch.
Does anybody have any last minute questions they'd like answered?
I see one more that I'd like to answer here. So someone's asking, how does Pricebook compare to this? And then what is Pricebook? I'll give a kind of a quick overview of what Pricebook is, but Pricebook is a separate feature available through SimpleConsign that allows you to kind of build a matrix of category and brand and how that crosses over into pricing, which you can fully customize for your store. Currently, this feature and Pricebook do not connect to each other. They do not talk. But that is some feedback that we've gotten, that for the stores who have taken the time to set up their Pricebook feature, being able to use both of those features in tandem to inform the pricing would be quite powerful.